what's happening there?
Okay, so what's going on with this heavy thing is we're trying to make a more downhill racing oriented setup to see how we can make the other Planet trucks work in that arena. So what we're doing is we're doing all the things that Dim said the trucks needed.
Which was?
For downhill. Which was, needs a higher angle to make the downhill work, which is counterintuitive to some people. It needs to be tall, so it's got big risers on it, and it needs to have a lot of resistance. The way this setup works, and why it's going to change the way the other planets ride, is by raising up the trucks higher, you give a much higher leverage ratio over the trucks, which means that you can run a much higher resistance and still be able to maneuver it. And the result of combining those two things gives you a set of trucks that you can lift the wheels up off the ground, which is not something you can traditionally do on other Planet trucks. But I can still take it to 30 degrees. So yeah.
So what's your initial likes and dislikes about the setup?
I don't know. I think we're a lot closer to what Dim wanted than we've ever gotten before, by a lot. I still think the turning angles are lower than what he would have put on it if he was doing this, but I think we've got each one, the back one's to 30, the front one's probably to near 34. And so that's, definitely a lot less than, that traditional setup. But it is definitely more than your average set of other Planet trucks.
How about the resistance?
The resistance on this is top secret. So I've made these. This is a latex exercise banding, and this stuff is pretty crazy. As you can see, it's ripping it apart, so it's not really fit for racing at this point. But it is, good for making a standing demonstration to feel how much resistance it gets. And this feels really good. And the reason we have the latex is because the latex has so much elasticity that we're not bottoming out the elastic properties of the material.
So what do you think phase 2 is?
Phase 2. Not totally sure yet. I think phase 2 might involve raising the angles a little higher. So we're more in the range of 40 degrees. And also establishing a more reliable means of resistance that has really good qualities to it.
So David, what's the point of making other planets work and feel like kingpin trucks? Doesn't that defeat the purpose?
Well, not exactly. I mean, it kind of does in some of the aspects, but the other Planet trucks and the cam still offer unique qualities that only the cam can provide. First of all, it's still going to have the cam's stable center, which is something that's going to be very nice. The other thing is, other Planet trucks are actually, because they're fitted in the channel, if they're set up right, they can hold really good tolerances. Channel trucks inherently are going to have less steering slop than kingpin trucks. And then the other last, or maybe not the last, but the last one I'm probably going to mention, difference between the way another Planet truck is going to work and a kingpin truck is going to work is on the kingpin truck, the pivot is always tied in the center. With OP truck, because the cam, as it rolls on the cam, when you got your truck turned out all the way to the edge, the pivot is actually going to be all the way over at the edge of the truck, which means the weight's going down from here, so you're actually standing more on one wheel than the other. And torquing and driving this inside wheel, I think will unlock a lot more grip than you can otherwise get.
So what would you say is the final goal of this project?
The final goal is to discover something that we can, as the producers of the truck, go into and consider for the further renditions of the trucks themselves, and to build up some guidelines for people who want to explore more downhill-oriented disciplines with the OPs.
Cool.
Yes.
Well, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So be sure to like and subscribe to this video, and make sure you comment. We'd like to hear what you guys have to say, and we'll see you guys on the next planet.